In today's video, I'm going to be creating an N-scale pond on the last part of my layout that has not been scenic at all. It's something that I've never done before, so it's going to be an experiment from beginning to end, and I'm hoping I don't make too many mistakes along the way. The minimum required materials that I recommend for this project are as follows: a Woodland Scenics water kit, Woodland Scenics scenic cement, Woodland Scenics earth pigments, a pipette liquid dropper, Woodland Scenics blended turf, assorted colors, Woodland Scenics grass tufts, a box cutter or knife, Sculptamold, and small rocks or talus. Okay, now I've removed everything that might be in the way. We're going to use a box cutter and just start cutting away at the foam here. Okay, not gonna lie, that was probably the most nerve-wracking part of the whole project, because cutting into the foam, naturally you make a mistake and that's it. It looks good because it starts out a little more shallow and gets deeper over here. You want to make sure that you get rid of all the loose trimmings after, like I just did vacuuming, making sure that this is, for the most part, not going to come up anymore. You don't need to necessarily go too deep when you dig down. You want to be careful if you have thin foam that you're not digging too deep, obviously. I did my best to keep one side shallow, and this side is more shallow than this side, and it would make sense that as the pond gets wider, it gets deeper, so that's good. I'm going to be using Sculptamold, which is a modeling compound. It comes in a 3-pound bag, and you can get it off Amazon. I tried to get it in a smaller quantity, but you can't, so I'm sure I'll be using it again in the future, but my layout is very flat, and I have not needed to use any modeling compound. It's good for making hills and changing terrain and making depth changes just like we're doing here, so I'm sure I'll do some of that in the future, but for now this is my first time experimenting with it at all, so we'll see how that goes as well. Alright, I just went and mixed some Sculptamold up in a red cup, and you don't want it to be too wet, but you don't want it to be too firm either. So what I've heard was thicker than peanut butter. It's the consistency you want, but let's see what happens here. There's obviously better tools to use than a plastic knife, but that's what I'm going to use right now, and I'm sure it'll be fine. Shape it to form whatever you think is right for your area. Okay, that was not too bad. At the beginning of this whole project, it was slightly nerve-wracking because all of this was, like I said, new to me and experimental, so I'm happy with how this is going. It's time to let this dry before we get some paint on it. I'm going to paint it the same earth color underlayment that we have here. But yeah, pretty good. It's hard to tell on camera, but it's definitely got some depth here, and I think the water pour is gonna pour nicely. Okay, I let the Sculptamold dry overnight, and I went to record the painting of the pond, and I guess it didn't record, but I used Woodland Scenics Earth Colors Liquid Pigment Earth Undercoat, and all I did was painted the Sculptamold. Unfortunately, the camera had issues, but it's a simple step, so I'm sure it's okay. For the next step, I'm going to be mixing these 3 colors, mostly the dirt, earth color, with these 2 blends, green blend and earth blend. It should make a nice color mix for scenery. And I like to use a pipette to drop the scenic cement where it's needed. Might have gone a little wild with the colors. I didn't do exactly what I'd planned, but it's okay. I'm going to end up static grassing a lot of this, and I'm going to static grass this area right here. So it's time to let it dry again overnight, and we'll come back to it tomorrow and continue on. It's the next day, and I've done a few things off camera. I've masked off the track and the switch, which is something you want to do anytime you're working with scenery. I should have done it before, but it's okay. I was being extremely careful. But with the static grass, I don't want that to get anywhere near the turnout. The other thing I did was add a little gravel to this area, which is going to be a park. So we'll get to that eventually. But the next thing we're going to do is static grass around the pond and in the area of the park. Okay, I applied the glue in the specific areas. Here we go. For this application, I'm going to be using this Woodland Scenics water kit, and it's the cheapest one I could find. It comes with already mixed realistic water undercoat, which I'm about to apply right now, a foam brush, and a mixing stick. Now the kit supplies the water undercoat, which you want to put in the deepest part of your body of water. And I'm going to paint this on before everything else dries. But this is just so when you look at the pond, the bottom of it, it's going to be darker than the rest of it. So now when it dries, it'll be ready to pour. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to let this dry yet again, and we'll come back to it. Okay, we're back and everything's dry. At this point, you want to add anything that's going to be touching the water before you pour it. So I'm going to add some Woodland Scenics prairie grass tufts to act as cattails, and some small rocks like you'd see around a pond area. everything's dry and we're all set, it's time for the most important part, pouring the water. When pouring the realistic water, the directions tell you to only pour it in between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch thick. And specifically when you're pouring it, make sure you're pouring it in the deepest area and letting it spread out from there. I poured some in a red Solo cup. I just wanted to note something as I'm pouring the water here. I'm using this specific Woodland Scenics water kit due to the fact that I do not need a very large amount of materials to create this pond. And this kit comes with a pre-mixed solution that, as you saw, comes in a pretty small bottle. This kit also runs about $14 depending on where you buy it, whereas the realistic water from Woodland Scenics is double and comes in a way larger bottle that I simply just do not need. I also appreciate the fact that this kit that I'm using comes with the colored water undercoat. Which also, keep in mind, the one I'm using is going to pour completely clear and transparent, whereas if you use the realistic water from Woodland Scenics, there are a ton of different options for colors and murkiness. That is why that would be a better option for a larger, more in-depth landscape, but for a small body of water, this will do just fine. And the dark water undercoat that this comes with will give a sense of depth to the pond when applied correctly. Also, when you're doing this pour, do your best not to spill on any scenery or plants that may be close to your pond. However, if you do happen to have an accident, it can be quickly cleaned up with a Q-tip. I also recommend using a pipette to drop it into hard-to-get places rather than try to pour it in like I just did and get it everywhere. As you pour it, it's going to look murky, but it will dry clear. And once it's completely hard, you know it's dry. While it dries, it takes about 24 hours. I'm going to add some scenery and details. At the beginning of this project, we started off with this, and now we have this. While waiting for the water to cure, I simply added some more ground cover to areas that I thought needed it. I also added some trees and decided that it would be cool to have a bit of a woodsy area in the front and back corners in an effort to keep the park feeling more confined. Little details like the statue and park benches go a long way to make the scene feel more realistic. And as far as the pond goes, I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think the grass tufts and small rocks really give it a realistic look without having to go too crazy. And I also like how the middle looks darker, simulating that depth change with color that I was talking about. But I think that's enough of me talking. Let's see what it looks like with trains going around the layout. All in all, this has been a really fun project, and I hope everyone enjoyed watching just as much as I enjoyed attempting this for the first time. I think it came out really well, especially for something that I've never done before. I hope I've helped you learn something along the way as well, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up or drop a comment below. I appreciate all feedback, and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and as a small YouTube channel, it's not easy, so thank you to everyone who's been supporting me along the way. Thanks again, and I'll see you all in the next one.